Hello everyone, I'm back in an actual classroom to do your maths lesson today. So I've got whiteboard pens, I've got rubbers, I've even got a proper whiteboard. So I'm hoping this will go really well, hopefully. Okay, so we're going to be carrying on today looking at finding percentages of amounts. Now yesterday we looked at finding 50%, 25%, 10%, and we kind of looked at 1%, okay? Now, just to quickly recap on that, because you're going to need to know that for today. We said when we find 50%, to do that, we know that 50% is the same as a half. Now, because we know that 50% is the same as a half, we divide by 2, because the denominator is 2. When we find 25%, we know that is the same as a quarter, so we divide by 4. 10% we know is the same as a tenth, so to find that we would divide by 10, and 1% is the same as 1 over 100, so to find that we divide by 100. Now, the ones that you definitely will need to know for today is mainly this one, 10%, and this one, 1%. So to find 10%, we divide by 10. To find 1%, we divide by 100. And that's going to be really important for today. So you need to keep a note of that somewhere. Okay, starting as we always do then. Here are your questions. Find the imposters. Pause the video now. Okay, let's go through them together. So, I'm going to rub this off for now, but remember you will need it. Okay, so the first one then says 2/3 of 30 equals 20. Okay, now, if we imagine we've got 30 and it wants us to find a third, so it wants one of these. Well, to do that, we divide by 3. All of this is 30, but it wants it into thirds, so we divide by 3. Well, 30 divided by 3 is 10. 10, 20, 30. It wants 2/3. So this one and this one added together would be 20. So the answer is 20. The next one is 48 times 26. Okay, 48 times 26, they're saying is 1,248. Okay, let's try that out. So 48 times 26. We start on this side, we're going to do 6 times 8 first. Well, that is 48, so we're going to do 8, carry the 4. 6 times 4 is 24, add the 8 is 28. Now, we're moving on to the next line, so we're going to have to put a placeholder here. And now we can do 2 times 8, which is 16, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, add the 1 is 9. And now we have our 2 answers, we're going to add them together. 8 add nothing is 8. 8 add 6 is 14. 2 add 9 is 11. Add the 1 is 12. 1,248. So we know that one is correct. Ah, now this one's good. It's what we've been practicing. It says 10% of 880. Now, 10% of 880. Well, we know from what we just looked at that to find 10% we need to divide by 10. Sorry, my voice is quite croaky today. That should help. Okay, so we're going to divide by 10. 880 divided by 10 is 88. So 10% equals 88. Blue is fine as well. Next one, purple. 98 times 1. Well, any number times 1 is itself, so that's 98. Next one, 2/5 times 30. I'm going to move this so you can definitely see it, hopefully. So 2/5 times 30. Okay, so to do that, first thing we need to do is turn that into a fraction. So it's going to be 2/5 times, now remember, any number as a fraction is itself over 1. So it would be 30 over 1. When we're multiplying fractions, we just do what it says. We do 2 times 30, which is 60. 5 times 1 is 5. Now, the final fraction is 60 over 5. Okay, but we just need to check that that would cancel down to 12. The way we do that is we think how many 5s go into 60? Well, 5 times 12 is 60, so the answer is 12. So orange, I think that is absolutely fine. All right, we're halfway through and no imposters yet, so let's keep going. Next one, 5/20ths, add 3/10ths, add 1/4. So we're adding 3 fractions together, all with different denominators. Now when we're adding fractions, we know the denominators have to be the same for it to work. So at the moment we've got 5/20ths, add 3/10ths, add 1/4. Now luckily, all of these go into 20ths, so we only need to change 2 of them. So we keep the 5/20ths, and we're going to turn the other 2 into 20ths as well. Now, to get from 10 to 20, we times by 2. What we do to the bottom, we do to the top. On this side, to get from 4 to 20, we times by 5. What we do to the bottom, we do to the top. And now we can add them together. So, 5 add 5 is 10, add 6 is 16. So it's 16 over 20, which is fine. They're saying that would cancel down to 8 over 10, which it would because we could halve both. And then they're saying it would cancel down to 4 over 5, which again, it would. So I'm happy that black is not an imposter either. Got to be some imposters soon. Next one is green. 1.24 times 8. Okay. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You could line it up with the 8 in the correct place and do it that way, and that's absolutely fine. So if we were to do it like that, we would have 2 zeros here, but we don't need to worry about those. We would just start with the 8. So we do 8 times 0.04, or 8 times 4 is going to be 32. So we put the 2, carry the 3. 8 times 2 is 16, add the 3 is 19. So that's going to be 9, carry the 1. And then we've got 8 times 1, so that would be 9. I make it 9.92. Now the other way I can check this, if you're not confident with decimals, is you could pretend the decimal doesn't exist and do 124 times 8. Same digits, but I've pretended the decimal doesn't exist. And now I do it this way to check if I get the same digits here. If I do, I know I'm right. 8 times 4, again, is 32, so 2 carry the 3. 8 times 2 is 16, add the 3 is 19, carry the 1. 8 times 1 is 8, 992, yeah, so it's 9.92. So green is our first imposter. Next one is correct. 3.465 times 10 is 34.65. Pink, 90, take away 4 times 5. Now we used to use bod maths for this, which I spoke about briefly yesterday. Now, well, you may have heard of it called bid maths. It doesn't really matter. Basically, it tells you the order you have to do things when you've got more than one symbol in your question. So here we have a takeaway and a times. So this tells us the order we do them in. So B stands for brackets. O stands for operations. That's normally squared if something's squared or cubed. D stands for divide. M stands for multiply. A stands for add. And S stands for subtract. So we have subtraction, we have multiply. So using this, we know we need to do the multiplication first. So 4 times 5 we need to do first. Well, 4 times 5 is 20. Now we do 90, take away 20, which is 70. So pink is correct. Which I'm guessing means red's going to be the imposter, because there's normally 2, but we'll just double check. 6,724 add 2,159. Okay, start over here. 9 add 4 is 13, carry the 1. 5 add 2 is 7, add the 1 is 8. 7 add 1 is 8. 6 add 2 is 8. Let me just double check. It's saying 8773. I'm saying 8883. 9 add 4 is 13. Carry the 1. 5 add 2 is 7. Add the 1 is 8. Yeah. Okay. So our 2 imposters, we had red and we had green. Okay. Let's move on. Now, today we're going to be carrying on looking at percentages of amounts. So, we're going to start by, like we did yesterday, a would you rather. Now, we're looking at dollars today, it doesn't really matter. Would you rather have 25% of $250 or 50% of $105? Pause the video now and see if you can work it out. Remember, 50% we divide by 2, 25% we divide by 4. Okay, so I'd rather have 25% of 250 because 250 divided by 4 is 6250, which is more than 50% of 105, which is 5250. Okay, now, like we started to look at yesterday, sometimes when you find a percentage of a number, you end up going into decimals. Okay, you divide out of whole numbers. That's absolutely fine. It's easy enough to do. I'll show you. So, if we were doing 50% of 105, okay, we know we divide it by 2. Now, you may be able to do that in your head, and that's absolutely fine. But if you can't, this is what you would do. We would do 2 into 105, bus stop. 2 into 1 doesn't go, so we carry it. 2 into 10 goes 5 times. Nothing left over. 2 into 5 goes twice with 1 left over. Now, because we have that 1 left over, we need to do something with it. To be able to do something with it, we have to invent a placeholder. Like so. Now we can do, and we need to put a decimal point as well. Now we can do 2 into 10, which goes 5 times. So now we have an answer of 52.5, which is my final answer. Now 52.5 as money would be, in this case, $52.50, I think, possibly. Apologies if anyone knows that more than I do. I think it's cent. Okay. So, if we know 10% and we know how to find 10%, we can use that to work out other amounts. So this question here asks me to work out 20% of 200. Now we know how to find 10%. We divide by 10. So to find 10% of 200, we divide by 10, which is 20. Okay? Now if we know that 10% is 20, all of these are also going to be 20. So this one here is 20, and so on and so forth. We want 20%. So we find 10%, and then we times it by 2 for 20%, because we need 2 of them. So we've got 20, add 20, which is 40. The answer is 40. This one here wants 30%. So the golden rule is this: find 10% first. So step 1, find 10%. How do we do that? We divide by 10. So if we do that here, we do 250 divided by 10, which is 25. And then we times it by how many lots of 10% we need. So we want 30%, so we need 3 lots. So we take that, step 2, we times it by how many lots of 10. So we're going to do 25, and in this case we times it by 3, which is going to be 75. There we are, 25 times by 3 is 75. So activity 1 then, can you have a go at the following questions? So it's asking you for 30% of 300, 40% of 200, and 90% of 570. Remember, find 10% first and then times it by the lots of 10 that you need. So if it's 70, it'd be 7, 60 would be 6, pardon me, and so on. Okay, pause the video now. And you're back with me. Okay, so 30% of 300 is 90. 40% of 200 is 260. I've just realised I made a mistake on that one. That should say 40% of 650. They've made a mistake. If you did 40% of 200, that's absolutely fine. 40% of 200 would be 80. So if you got 80 for that, give yourself the mark because the question was written badly. The next one, 90% of 570 is 513. Okay? Lovely. Okay, moving on now to some word problems. Yasmin, don't care what her name is, says, as 5% is equivalent to 1/20th, I can find 5% by dividing by 10 and then halving it. Okay, that's absolutely fine. So what she is saying is this. To find 5%, again, we're going to find 10% first. So we find 10% by dividing by 10. But we don't want 10%, we want 5%. Well, how do you get from 10 to 5? You halve it. So once you've got your 10%, you halve it to get your 5%. I'll show you how that works. This one here is 5% of 40. So the first thing we're going to do is to find 10% of 40 by doing 40 divided by 10, which is 4. Now, to find 5%, we're going to halve it. We find 5% by halving the 10%. Half of 2, so we're going to take 4, we're going to divide that by 2, which is going to be 2, which is here. 4 divided by 2, we've got 10%, we're going to split it in half to get the 5%, which is going to be 2. Okay, can you have a go at that, finding 5% of 60, please? So find 10% and then halve it. Off you go. Okay, so 10% would be 6. We halve the 6, which gives us 3. So 5% is 3. Slightly bigger numbers, doesn't mean it's any more complex. We're finding 5% of 160. Can you have a go at that, please? So find 10% by dividing by 10, get your answer, and then halve it. Okay, so 10% would be 16. We then halve it, which would give us 8. Okay then, activity 2 is on the board, please. This is aimed at all of you. Just what we've been doing. We're finding 5% by finding 10% first and then halving it to get our answer. Off you go. Okay, here are your answers here. So we've got 12, 18, 22 cent in this case, 16, 24.5 and 3.12 or $3.12. Okay. Jamal says, now we're moving on to combining strategies here. Okay? So far, we know we've used 10% to then find other amounts. Now we know to get 10% we divide by 10. Keep that in mind. Jamal says to find 35% of a number, I find the 30% and then I find the 5% and I add them together. And he is completely correct. So if, for example, I've got here 35% of 40 grams. Right. The first thing I need to find is 10%. That's like the golden starting point. So we're going to find 10% of 40. Well, we know that to do that, we divide by 10. 10% of 40 is 4. Now, we don't want 10%, we want 35%. So we're going to find the 30% and the 5% and add it together. We're going to start with the 30%. So 30% of 40. Well, 10% is 4. To get from 10 to 30, we times by 3. So we need to do the same on this side. 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm going to keep a note of that. I know that 30% equals 12. And I'm going to rub that out. because I found 30%, but I don't want 30%, I want 35%. So I now need to find the 5%. 5% of 40. Well, to get from 10 to 5, we divide by 2. We're going to do the same on this side. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 5% is 2. So 30%, I'm going to write it nice and big so that you can see it. 30% equals 12. 5% equals 2. I can now add them together. 30 add 5 will give me my 35%, which is what I want. I now add the 12 and the 2, which is 14. So 35% equals 14. Can you have a go at doing 45% of 300? So find 10%. Once you've got the 10%, use that to find 40%. Then use the 10% to find 5%. Take the 5%, the 40%, and add them together. Okay. And here are your answers. 135 and 11. Okay. Activity 3 then. You can all have a go at this. There's no reason you can't. Okay? So, activity 3, which I believe is the last one, is doing 45%, 65% and 85% of these numbers. Using the strategy we just did. Find 10%, then times it to get the 40 in this case, then find the 5%, add the 40 and the 5% together. Okay? Pause the video, have a go. Okay, so here are your answers. We have 27, 455 and 34. Okay, now activity 4 is the challenge activity. And this is going to be on Seesaw for those of you that want to have a go at it, which I know some of you are doing really well at, so thank you. It will be on Seesaw for you to have a go at and respond to. You don't have to write anything down, you can just record you saying your response to it. I know we had some children from Peru doing that, really impressed, really great work, okay? I know today was a little bit complex. Don't worry, we're going to be going over it again tomorrow and building on it a little bit. So even if you've only got part of today, you're doing really well. We'll carry on with it tomorrow. For now, thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.